jealous, we ain't cousins, we really brother. It's a blessing. Now that we grown, we tougher than ever. Even if it go from bad to worse, it's still where we hurt. Make sure my baby girl tight, and make sure that I family first. Family first. Let's start the game over. Back to the way things were. It's all about the kids, so put your family first. Let's start the game over. Back to the way things were. It's all about the kids, so put your family first. Take it back. Start the game over. It's in me. Gives me motivation, so I'm rocking my hand. Listen, don't have a wish. Let them know it's more to life than block living. Focus on yourself and stop all that hate. I know you want that money, but you gotta be patient. From elementary to your heights, college graduation, living the life. Every day money making. I wanna take it back to Sunday dinner. Collard greens and fries.
Fried chicken, y'all, in the kitchen. Yeah, it's EMIY. We're live in the game, ready to roll. Today is a special day, a very special day. First of all, I have to apologize to everyone that's watching. My guest in the building today, Dave, will be running in, and Heather is already in the booth with me. And Crystal is probably selling 2 coffees and a donut to a homeless person right now, handling her business, doing what she do. But today is a special day. Today is the official kickoff of the EMIY Empowerment Center capital campaign to raise the money to build the Empowerment Center, right? And I and Heather and the EMIY team and everyone else is excited. And I can't say enough. What's incredible is, I believe you can shut the door today. What's incredible about today is the stories are ironic. And how we got here is nothing but God. So say hello, Miss Miller.
Out in diaspora.
Yes. Hello. Are you in the you with me? You here? Mm-hmm. Okay, Heather. So I think Dave is in the building too. What's up, Dave?
Hey, my brother. Hey, Heather.
Today is like, it was real special. We had to was invited personally by TCF Bank to come to the grand opening, right? And we opened up an account with TCF Bank, right? We was blessed, right? We opened an account with TCF, right? And a number of people out there, young lady, India out there who, went to school with my daughter, works in the community, said nothing but great things about Mr. Man, all of that, right? And so we're going to tell this story. I brought in the empowerment. You're free to look at it, Dave, to give you an idea, right? We brought in the Empowerment Center to have this conversation. And the reason why we're having this conversation, which I started out saying, Heather, and, I'm non-apologetic, but I'm apologizing to the people. And the reason why I'm apologizing to the people, because I did not, will not, and refuse to ask for permission to do God's work. And in this process, many people probably evaluated that you should go this way, you should go this way, you should act this way, you should do this thing. And in going through those steps, it led us to continue to move forward in this process. So, So, Heather, I think you should tell your empowerment story, right? Because, of course, they don't know your story. And then I'll come behind, and hopefully by then Crystal might chime in or text in. I know she's probably watching somewhere, right? So from your perspective, tell your this. What now? I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is Heather's Empowerment Center story.
Okay, so I like to call this my burning bush experience. In about 2004, I had an encounter with God. This is my burning bush story. So, if any of you have had this similar experience where you came face to face with being given your purpose and had this kind of conversation with God where you had surrendered yourself to do the work and the purpose that you are called to do. So, my backstory was that I had initially I had two encounters. The first one was a an awakening dream. I was actually asleep and was told to wake up and write down this statement, and it was Womanist Conference 2005. And so I didn't think anything of it. I normally keep a notepad next to my bed. So I wrote it down. I went back to sleep. I didn't think anything else of it. But maybe around a month or so later, I was sitting in my room and I was just studying, and I had this encounter. And it was a voice that, and I know I recognize God's voice when I hear it because I am one of the family. And
Is
so
that her mic?
I heard this
Your
voice
mic.
speaking.
Your headphones.
Yeah, the mic
Is it
in and out.
too loud? Not loud enough?
It's cutting in and out.
Okay, maybe because I'm moving so much. Talk a lot with my hands.
Oh,
Is that better?
It's the cord.
Yeah, it's the cord. Got to shoot.
Oh, well, that's great in the middle of my great story.
Right.
Okay, let me try it without it.
So you talking yet?
He talking, but I ain't saying what's out of it.
There ain't no sound. So, Heather.
Try reconnecting your headphones back in there.
Reconnect your headphones. She probably got that phone on them.
No, we still can't hear you.
What's she saying over there?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not getting any sound from her. So you can just tell the story right now. Until she
Okay.
comes back in.
So
Try reconnecting your headset. Okay.
So when she comes back, right, she tells this story, right? And so here is my story. So brother comes along, wants to be a good father's only member, becomes a good father's only member. His car breaks down. He's in front of the shop. I think I told this part of the story. And the owner of the shop pulls up. Anyway, both of them got on the good father's only. Jackie ended up helping him. So once he gets that help, about a week later, he calls me. He tells me he has this building on Livernois. Asked me to meet him on Livernois. At this time, me and Crystal are meeting and just creating and doing things and the whole nine. We go to the building. He's going to turn the building over to the city, right? We go to the city, right? He's going to sign it over to us. It's right by the University of Detroit. I meet with the University of Detroit community, the youth, everything. They're ready to help. So we're going through this process of figuring out what we going to do with this building, the whole nine. So me and Crystal, we on the phone, laughing, talking, and she's like, I got an idea. I was like, yeah, because we want to be able to put the computers in here, right? We're going to teach literacy, all of this. right? We're going to connect it to the university, and we're going to have the literacy, and the university come over help teach reading. So one day later, 2 days later, me and Crystal on the phone, she shoot me an email, tell me to check my email. All the stuff that we was talking about, she ended up putting it into a sheet for an empowerment center. At this point, it's just an empowerment center by EMIY for the youth. So we got our fingers crossed. Now, mind you, we're going to call the fathers, right? And we're going to have the fathers come. It's a big old root in the back of the building that has to be chopped down, the whole nine, right? We go to the city, and the city say they're not going to take the taxes off the building. It's like they turned it over to a nonprofit. What you mean? You're not going to take the taxes off it? Well, we're not going to take the taxes off this building.
This is the city of Detroit.
City of Detroit, right? So I'm like, wow. We done put this thing together. Who can we go to get some help? Right? So me and Crystal, we trying to figure the thing out. We talking to, at that time, not such an active board. We're coming off of youth marches. We're coming off of scholarship fairs in partnership with Better Detroit Youth Movement. And, right, we're coming off of art parties. Like, we rolling. It's our turn. Encourage me, I'm young. We got to get out there. It's time to do this vision. University of Detroit, they sign up. They on. They in with us. It's on. Mm-hmm. No empowerment center. It's not going to happen. A couple years later, go by. A couple years go by. We revisit the idea for the empowerment center. I'm posting about it. I'm talking about it. Right? What are we going to put in this place to hold now? Now, at this point, we got 350 boys on the east side. We most definitely need a spot because they robbing us from over there. Mm. And we got a whole nother process going on. And we're looking to do what we need to do to get this empowerment center back into the game. Mm-hmm. So we invite Michigan State over. At this time, they got mentors. They're paying mentors. We invite them to come over. Hey, so we know if we can get a little bit of money, maybe we can go pay the taxes and still get this building. So Michigan State come over. At this time, they got a mentoring program where you can mentor. If you take a kid or whatever, it's $100 a kid. Mm. Well, of course, we got $300,000 worth of kids in the gym. Mm-hmm. Right? We laughing about it, like, oh, yeah, this is going to be good, right? The brother saw we had all them kids. That brother never came back. I don't know what it is about brothers when they see their work. Mm-hmm. They turn around. That's like the brother when we had the 350. He worked with me in the juvenile. I was like, come on, Rev. You gonna work these kids out. Mm-hmm. He come stand at the gym, seeing all them kids. I'm gonna go to my car.
He kept it moving.
I'm gonna get my bag. I'll be right back. And he kept it moving. Mm-hmm. All right. So that time go by. Me and Rock, we connect. Me and Rodney Jones, and he bring me over to Rosedale. So we in Rosedale, we like, yeah, boy, we sure could use one of these. Because I know I can pull 300 boys. That ain't no problem. We can get the boys. Mm-hmm. But we like, oh man, we can do this. So Gabe, I know you listening, right? So your man Heyman Cross showed nothing but love. And Pastor Cross turns around and offers us lots. Okay, we're gonna take these lots, we're gonna turn it into the EMIY Empowerment Center. We back. Now, mind you, when you talk about building something, I get the call from one of my mentors, and he says, Cal, you're not gonna be able to do it. He said, the only way you're gonna be able to do it is you gotta get a highly visible board. That's the only way you're gonna do it. You're just not gonna be able to do the Empowerment Center. Mm-hmm. So I said, Dave, okay. Now mind you, Dave, God done brought me this far. So I don't know. We could talk about it and we can go through it, but in this process, a lot was taking place. One, there's an exodus of people out of Michigan. Therefore, there was an exodus of thousands and thousands of people out of the city. Right? They started trying to cultivate these programs for these buildings, the whole nine. And again, highly political. You got the connections, you got the money. We'll give you this, we'll give you that, the whole nine. Now, mind you, Dave, statistically, our information states, right, we've impacted 20,000 youth, right? 15,000 in the city alone, right? 10,300 and some were all males, all right, since 2007. We've raised $1.2 million in in-kind donations, grants, product, volunteer, right? I can count the people on one hand that really looked out, that understood that we went to the table, talked, all of that, right? But who are you? Like what you doing? I just gave you the numbers. Mm-hmm. Imagine had we had the building and you gave us the money. Imagine that. All right? Mm-hmm. So we go forward. And me and Heather reconnect. Right? So our friendship expands back to 2009. Mm-hmm. Right? And then we reconnect. When we reconnect, Heather has an empowerment center story. So we like beefing. Like, what you talking about? The empowerment center? Joke, don't play. I had the empowerment center vision too. Mm-hmm. Right? And so going through that process, now look at us. So in that booklet, I'm gonna give you an idea. Heather looks like she's back, right? Yeah. In this booklet, right, we chose.
Still not coming through.
She's still not coming through? It's them headphones. Right? We go through. Here's the process. It's right here early on. We talk about research. We chose Brightmoor because Pastor Cross, Rosedale Park, they chose us. Pastor Cross never had to open his door. Right? When Rodney brought me over there, Pastor Cross opened his door. Rosedale Park Baptist Church became a home to us, opened the door. Pancake breakfast is everything. We tithed the whole nine. Gave unconditionally whatever we could, whenever we could. Whatever we raised, we gave the whole nine. Right? But in growth, like anything else, it was time for us to do our due diligence. Mm-hmm. So I go to James, Tate, right? Me and Tate, we kicking it, we talk, right? He do things with men, I do things with men, right? And we had lunch, right? And get everything and asked, and we grow. The brother come through like a shining star. Nobody can say nothing negative about James Tate around Calvin, man. Right? The brother put the work in. For the people, for the community, the whole nine. One day we sat down and we got real personal. Just away from everything else.
Yeah, he's in my district. That's my guy.
Right. Right. We all are, we're in the same district, District 1. Right? Meantime, we over here doing our thing. But here, right here, this was the jewel. When we were doing research, we discovered a little piece. Why Brightmore? Ready? Here it is right here. The early Brightmore community in 1940 understood the value of providing safe spaces for the cultivation of boys from 8 to 18. Much like our ME Future Leaders and ME Elite models, they used peer-on-peer mentorship. They saw the value of dedicated environments specifically for boys to matriculate the stages of manhood, with men in the community leading them. 1940. It didn't go through. This one going through. It's going down. And here's the other piece about this whole empowerment center piece. What's up, Crystal? I see you. Right? It's the other piece about the empowerment center, right? It's for the community. At one point, we was partnering with Detroit Housing Commission, trying to pull the kids out. As soon as we started asking for applications and things like that, they disappeared. All we ask for you is fill out this application so we can get the background, the data, the information, right? So Detroit Housing Commission is another waiting partnership for this empowerment center. Incredible.
Brightmore part of Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And Dave. And it's some good people. So I knocked on doors, introduced myself. Right? Me and Heather, we met some parents and community, knocked on the housing for the support. Pulled up on a bunch of young cats, right? Doing their thing. The whole night, man, ain't nothing like that over here. We would love to have something like that over here. You know, the parents are like, wow, you would do that over here? I say, no, it's not. We're going to do it. Right? So who are you, L Bug, they would say. Well, again, you know, they say a hard head make a soft ass sometimes. Well, sometimes a hard head builds an empowerment center. Right. I mean, that's ironic. Did you do the research? Do the research, which we'll be talking to the kids about tonight. You do the research, right? Right. Here's a why. This is right out of the ME Empowerment Center booklet. A why? Well, you know, we ain't on here shooting each other either, so ain't none of that happening. So maybe that's right, and we might be talking too positive, right, for a society that's built off violence, right? So here's a why. In 2015, the vision for the ME Empowerment Center was birthed as we recognized immediately that boys from the age of 8 to 14 needed specific support, resources, encouragement, and were grossly underserved and underrepresented in the community. We began the intentional process of strategic alignment that gave us 3 clear pathways to validate the need for the EEC. They include 1, inclusion and trust; 2, community reinvestment; 3, planning and development. So we put together this committee, this board, right? And I think she back on L. See if we can hear her.
I'm waiting on her to say something. Nope. So whatever you disconnected everything.
Here, let me Let me text her.
Can you call in from your phone? Can you do the link through your phone?
What's the number? Edward?
Yeah, try your phone device. Try your device
248.
using the same link.
What's the number? 248.
Oh, you wanted to call in?
Yeah, what's the number?
Oh, 248-854-9850.
So, yeah, I need that. I'm getting hyped. So, inclusion and trust. We explained everything, right? Inputs, activities, outputs, outcomes, goals. Right? This center invites the entire community in. So what does it do? It reconnects. What's that noise? It reconnects the process of adult, seniors, adults, and kids in the same area, where kids have to have respect, learn respect, get respect with the children, right? Therefore, kids get more wisdom. Which right now, kids are not getting wisdom. There's a disconnect between the seniors, the parents, and the children. And so where you need that wisdom to speak to you is disconnected. The Emmy Empowerment Center brings the community, right, back together. So the seniors can walk in a safe environment. The kids, our rules are on the door when you walk through the door. So no N-word, none of that. But services and partnerships throughout the facility. We already got tech school gonna be there. So boys can learn this tech and go out and make this money, learn to raise families. Young fathers can get this. Good fathers only in the building. Safe space. Right? At some point, right, she called in.
See in from her phone.
I'm trying it from my phone.
Yep. Turn your phone sideways for me. There we go.
So
there we go. We back in business.
Right. The sources of leadership from citizens, community, youth, Wayne University students, all of this was part of that historical perspective. So, you ready to tell your story now that you're back in the game? Uh-oh.
Well, maybe I'm not supposed to tell all of the story. I'll just jump in from the vision that I was given for the Empowerment Center. So just suffice it to say that in 2004, I had my burning bush experience, and it led me on this journey to see the vision for an empowerment center. And that started in 2004 for 2005, and I was actually given what that vision would be, what it would look like, and I had an opportunity to see it in advance. And so I had no idea then how it would happen. And so, but I'm fully persuaded that it is supposed to happen, and it will happen under our watch. And so there's just been a number of ordered steps that confirm that this is supposed to happen. I did not know Calvin Mann at that time in 2004. I didn't meet him until 2009. But that vision was already planted in 2004. And Calvin, if I'm not mistaken, you got your vision about the same year. Is that right?
I started by laying shirts where kids was getting killed in 2004.
And so this safe space that would be a safe space for community was really, really important. And it continues to get more important with every year that passes. So I'm really excited to have shared the vision and also to be able to take the information from that vision and place it into a strategy that works. And so as we continue to build the team and draw those people who are supposed to be a part of it, one of our architects on this project, I met maybe in 2010, and we worked on a project together. And he's a part of this initiative, and he's one of the architects that is doing part of our renderings for outlining the space. Again, even at that time, we had no idea that we were going to continue to work together and do such an awesome project. So I reiterate that all of these steps have been ordered because we didn't know in 2004 that this was going to be the process by which we made this vision come to pass. But as I said earlier, that, God's word doesn't come back void. And so I know that he gave the vision to more than one person. And the two people who I know on our team that also saw a vision for an empowerment center and immediately bought into that, that's a confirmation that this is something that is one divinely ordered and that is ordered in the steps that those are followed. So again, I'm really excited about how we take this to the next level and how soon we're able to do it. So I'm excited about the process.
So that's kind of that's that perspective, right? For it to line up that way, Dave. This is where you come in at, Dave, right? In this conversation today. Notice that perspective and how in 2004, on the other side of the city, one was given a vision. In 2004, on the other side of the city, was given a vision. Two different tales. And now this. Yesterday, I was playing one of them games. Mm-hmm. One of them Facebook games, right? And it says, tap and play and see the biblical character that's in you on everything. There's a story in Medjugorje Norievo or overseas about the vision of Mary and the many, many people who pour into there to touch the hem of the vision of Mary, right? I read the article, the book, the whole nine. A friend of mine turned me on. I read the book, blew me away. Right in the middle of war and everything. The first time I hit that thing, it caught me Mary. I said, "Oh, I can't do that." Right? I hit it the second time. The second time, it brought up Job and said, "Why?" I don't know how these things know these things, but the story, my story, the whole nine lines up. Mm-hmm. So this, with me and her having this conversation and getting to this point, my question to you, Dave, is, can you explain that?
Well, as I was sitting there pondering over it, the only thing I could think of when God said in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plan I have for your life, a plan for you to prosper and not for harm, that there's a hope and a future he would give you. So sometimes, God, as Heather said, it was really important. I used to say the same thing. God give many people a vision, but it's the one to act on it. And the one to act on it is the one that gets the manifestation. You guys started the journey, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't start their journey. And one thing about you, we'll go with the ideal of Job. They always say have the patience of Job. But what Job, did not Job complain? He still kind of complained to God in some ways. But when he did it in a way that he understood that God was in charge. And so he still didn't waver away from his belief in God. You never wavered. Heather never wavered, and you never wavered from the vision. So when you think about it, let's use Mary. Mary got a vision. Then her husband, Joseph, got a vision. So, and as you go through the process, many times Abraham gets a vision. Each one gets a vision, and it's when they act on it that God can work through them. And you're going to have, let's use Job, another part of Job. You had a lot of obstacles thus far, right? But you kept being persistent. And the more persistent you are, the more you trust God, the more you don't waver on God, the more he brings things about. Because it tells you that the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but him that endured to the end. See, so you're pressing on so you could be like Paul in the end, I've finished the race. Too many people be in the race, and when it get hard, when you ever run, you get that pain on the side, and you want to quit? See, you can't quit. You can rest if you must, but you don't quit. And y'all never quit. And then God will bring all the, I like to say that, this is my philosophy. I have reasonable expectation of man, but I have all expectation of God, that God will work through man to meet the expectation that he has for the plan for my life. That's what's happening.
Boom. 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 Right? Right. So I was very careful about my words. I'm always being checked. Be careful about what I say. Mm-hmm. Right? My wife constantly tell me, you have to be careful about what you say, because what you say manifests.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue.
But so is the gift. Right? Which is my favorite scripture is before that one. And so I'm all the way there with you in the observation. I may not be the brightest star. Heather may not be the brightest moon, right? We may not be the creme de la creme, so to speak. We're not bougie. We're not bougie, right? I can be bougie over certain things, but we're not bougie. And I believe we both have this thing for the people that pushes us. Not just the fact that we have purpose, but the thing for the people. Her thing for women and understanding, and me, my thing for boys and fathers. And this empowerment center, affirmations throughout the building are affirmations. Encourage me, I'm young affirmations, right? The message at the door. I wish Crystal was on because I had a surprise for her, but she's going to have to hear it another time, right? And, right, Dave, we said, just 15,000 square feet. Right? 15,000 square feet ain't big enough for the vision. It doesn't hold. So you got to go to 25,000 square feet. Right? And so that holds, which includes parking, the whole nine. Right? So we went through this whole thing, and I'm telling you, days and nights, and structuring, printing, talking and planning the various kids. Yesterday, I'm gonna dive a little bit to the right, Ms. Adams. Yesterday we was with the boys. So yesterday was the last day. Next Sunday is the ceremony. What you just said is exactly what the point I made to them. Yesterday, Ramonte and Ra. Ramonte, He was on his way to his 30, and he stopped. Right? He just stopped. It was like, what you stop for? It ain't like you were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. He get back on. Right? Everybody count. He finished. Wasn't breathing. Rah, the pressure's on. He got to do the 30 again. Now he started collapsing and falling like he was before. Right? When we come back to him, the determination shows up. And he completes the 30. We spent time discussing what Sunday is going to be like, the ceremony, how they're going to get their jackets, you know, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm standing there, I'm blown away about today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to focus that today was the day we're launching the capital campaign to raise $5 million to build our own empowerment center. Mm-hmm. And from the words and the lips of my mouth and to the grind that we have and the work ethic that we have, we are going to get this done. Mm-hmm. Now, how and who and when all the team is on deck, we're going to see. The social media director dropped a bomb to kick it off. She dropped a bomb with the guy in the suit talking about, like in 3D, dog. Mm-hmm. 3D. Mm-hmm. It was in 3D, Dave. Mm-hmm. And it's talking. And it's telling you in the EMIY Power Center right here. It's in 3D. Mm-hmm. That's how she kick off the campaign. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see the next one because she had 2 today. She had another one she got to drop, right? So at the same time, I'm putting together a video from 1992 in this little house right here, right? I'm reminiscing. Because you know what, Dave? And Heather, I say this all the time, but before I get real passionate about this and get all teary-eyed and everything, mm-hmm. all my damn life they told me no. Mm-hmm. They told me no. Mm-hmm. People said, what you gonna do? That ain't your calling. What you gonna do with the encourage me, I'm young? Oh man, that's whack. Mm-hmm. What you mean you gonna get these kids out the way? We gotta get you out this job. Y'all putting these babies in handcuffs ain't teaching them shit. Mm-hmm. You ain't teaching them nothing. Y'all ain't here just to do a job because you say they're all messed up. I'm at a juvenile watching you destroy the life. Mm-hmm. You helping the system destroy these kids' life. Mm-hmm. Makes it very easy for me to kill my brother in that process. Mm-hmm. You see? So what do you do? So I'm snapping, which I normally do. I ran a little bit, and she had to tell me, relax, the whole nine. And I said, we going to prevention. We're going to cut this off before we get there. And that's where we at.
Well, the one thing, too, that you and kind of failed to mention was that when you get passionate about something, there's a deep-seated love that's there. And see, Heather had a love, you had a love, and God is only going to put that level of passion and commitment to people that walk in love, in all things you're doing in love. And this is why it works you up. And once a person moves in that, there's nothing that can stop them. So it really comes down, as he said, everything comes together for the good for those that love the Lord. You guys love the Lord. Again, we're all human beings, so human things are always going to rise up. But the Spirit will overpower, and it will propel you forward. So when somebody, this is cute, because they say, when you say no, I go, oh, go? You say no. I said, oh, go? You say no. I said, oh, go? I'm gone. Because while you telling me no, I'm still moving.
I'm still moving.
You see? And think about it. See, you got to look at this. It was 100-something years before even the art gets put together. So imagine a man that never seen rain said, you need to build this ark. See, you're building the ark. You need to build this ark because the rain going to come down, right? But think about it. All the community saying no. Everybody telling me it can't happen. What are you talking about? What is rain? But he kept going, and he kept going. And God put the most important people in his life was his family, and they kept going. But when the rain came, they was on the outside looking in. And most of the things that we see manifest when people tell somebody no, down the road, God shows them the real power. Who's in charge? And as long as we commit our lives unto him, he's going to make his plan work. As Heather said, neither does his plan return void. So when we look at Joseph and when he gets thrown into the slave, into the little hole there, I'm blocking the name of it, and then he gets now sold off as a slave, but he had a vision. He was telling his brothers that I'm going to be over you, that even his daddy got upset. But he had a vision, and he stayed true to the vision. And next thing you know, when the famine came, his family had to come to him. See, so it's significant what you guys are doing. But, sometimes, again, when you're in a race, there's a lot of people starting off on the same page. They are right there at the starting gate. But when you get them running, and as you say, when the work shows up, you got to stay in the race, you got to keep running, got to keep moving. A whole lot of people drop off. And you'll find out what people made of when it's time to do the work. So y'all going up the hill. Y'all taking the hill. See? So don't, I tell myself, go ahead, Heather.
Go ahead, Heather.
And I said, and you find out what you're made of yourself.
That's right. You got substance. And that's the difference between weeding out those that will and those that don't.
So, we said put your family first. Mm-hmm. we are painting this beautiful picture. Mm-hmm. I think back to, and Dave, because you walk with me, and Victor walks with me, and my brothers and the people that walks with us, we're gonna bring back the Man Youth Summit as well. Mm-hmm. See, we did the Man Youth Summit before we locked in, but what happens is money becomes an object to a lot of people. That's what they seek, right? And they see it that way. I'm not mad at them, right? Money is a resource that we're getting ready to come into a lot of it to build this empowerment center and do this work and do an encouraging a huge mark, right? Going forward. 36 years, Dave. I was 20 years old, 19, 20, kicked out of college, worked at 20. I get a whistle, right? Next thing you know, 23, I'm a head basketball coach, high school level. Everywhere, when I say this, this is why the pieces and the work that we do, I'm always illustrating and talking about. There's a simple formula that fits where everyone dresses up this situation for a prom when you really only need a pair of socks. Sometimes the boy only needs a pair of socks to walk into his manhood. Mm-hmm. He doesn't necessarily need the Cadillac and the Mercedes Benz to distract him for what is on his path. Sometimes he just needs that pair of socks. Mm-hmm. He needs the voice of a man, a male man, fatherhood brain man that could lean into him what his spirit has missed because there is no fatherhood. Listening to El Bug talk, listening to the brother called the other day about his circumstance. Mm-hmm. Just wanting to be a father to his child, his daughter, and somebody else had a plan. And the roles reversed. I said, you wasn't listening to God. You know how I know, brother? Because I didn't. So being able to share that information and pour into another brother, El Bug just joined Good Fathers Only.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Yeah. Right? People think, whatever they think, we get We get it done. So with that being said, I know we're wow. My brother just shared Corin just shared it in the whole 9 for the Empowerment Center. Right? So we get to say, I know we closing here. So Heather, ladies first, give your quick minute message you'd like to leave tonight. I truly appreciate you and love you.
Thank you. Well, I do want to leave with everyone that we know that sometimes our journey is going to include the passion and the pain. What we want to do is use either of those tools, because they're really just tools to get us to our purpose. And that purpose might be the path that you cross with somebody else's life. I call that the spiritual economy. There's a spiritual economy that I really want to have a chance to talk about this more. So maybe we'll look at this for another time, Calvin. But this idea of a spiritual economy, it says that we are here to work 3 generations ahead of us from 3 generations behind us. And our work is to fix that which was broken, to complete that which was incomplete, and to right that which was wrong. It comes from the unction in your spirit that tells you to help somebody, and you choose to help or not to help. But the unction was part of your spiritual economy that is going to reverberate from those generations behind you to those generations in front of you. When you miss that opportunity, you miss the opportunity to add to your spiritual economy. So when you get that unction in your spirit to give to a cause, to pause, to not go through that stop sign, to go visit your child's school, to help somebody in the line behind you, follow that unction in your spirit, because it's there for an important reason. Because God's work happens through each willing heart. Each willing heart. You have to choose to do this work. So if you've had this vision for an empowerment center and you don't know where to start, you need to connect with us. If you have a vision for your life, you need to be connecting with people who are doing similar things. Find your way, find your team, find your part.
Thank you, man. Brother Dave?
Yeah, I'll try to be brief and be brilliant and be gone. If I get 2 out of 3, I'll be straight, right? All right. So I'm just going to say every journey I've learned that you have to maintain a certain pace. My acronym to that term pace is, first you have to prepare. You have to prepare for the journey. You just can't run out there half-cocked. You have to prepare. Those who prepare are better ready for when the events are getting ready to come. It's like going to the war zone. If we don't train, we don't train, because we say we train as we fight, and we fight as we train. If we don't do that, we're in trouble. Then you have to have the right attitude. If you got the wrong attitude, it's all for naught. And 90% of the things that we have to deal with is all about the right attitude. Then you have to commit. A person has to commit to whatever their purpose or a reason being on this earth. And believe me, we all got a reason. And then once you commit to that reason and that purpose, then you expect God to do what he do. So you can't even come to God without faith. So you need to have that high level expectation of God so he can work through you to make those things he put in you come to pass. And then you execute, and you execute, and you execute. And as I said earlier, you rest if you must, but you don't quit till you finish the race.
Thank you, Brother Dave. Truly appreciate that. So I'm gonna take it down that road. The road of
the yellow brick road.
Yes. The road of can. Right? The road of can. Not can't. The road of can. There is nothing we tell the kids. Open Luther is in the book. Live your greatest dreams. There's nothing you can't do. Live your greatest dreams. A bull. Calvin Man. There's nothing you can't do. Can. Together We Can. A couple years ago, my brother did Together We Can, the song. Right? Behind Together We Can, the Emmy Future Leaders was in the video, the whole nine. Right? We could have pushed. People could have pushed, helped push the people. Whatever the case may be. Great job. I'm proud of the work he did. And it ignited the kids. The kids saw something. A positive message for them. It'll be there forever. All right? Then we come back and do a cartoon for my son. God probably chilling. God probably chilling like a villain. Died on the cross, saved me, and made a killing. Right? And we see other influences. People doing T-shirts and, the whole nine. Our work has been what we were given, we give. So every time you bought a shirt, it went toward helping a kid and helped us sustain the work. Every time you bought a hat, the same thing, right? Every membership we got for Good Fathers only helped us do 11 years celebrating fatherhood and the fatherhood celebration walk. So I say all that to say to any and everybody that's watching, there is nothing you can't do when you have God.
Okay.
You better find him, put him first, and listen. Because when you don't, it's going to be a fight. And sometime you lose that fight, and you might not get a second chance. Some of us discover purpose. In this process, for me, it was my mother, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my father,